r/AskReddit. What are some girl secrets guys don't know about? Sometimes we stand up and things just gush out of us. We always think it's our period. In pants hard bulge pic. Actual pic of your dick. When you hold your breasts when you walk up the stairs so they don't jiggle because that's uncomfortable. Periods suck overall, but they are very different depending on the girl. Some women get emotional. Some are completely normal. Some periods last for 8 days. Some last for 3 days. Some girls are in extreme pain. Some just have mild discomfort. Some flows are very heavy. Some are very light. AKA, I'm on my period can mean anything from sorry, I'm completely incapacitated, or I'm just feeling a little worse than usual. Sometimes when we pee a stray drop or two starts to roll across our butt cheek. Or maybe that's just me. We are often secreting vaginal cleaning fluids. Sometimes guys are surprised when we're wet with no foreplay, without realizing that it's got nothing to do with how turned on we are and everything you do with our vag cleaning itself. These same guys automatically assume that we don't need any foreplay because we're already wet. Side note on these cleaning fluids, sometimes they're acidic enough to bleach panties. That's a normal occurrence and nothing to be concerned about. LOL. My husband just said, then what the hell are we wasting money on bleach for? Hey girl, will you walk behind me to check if I'm leaking? That goes hand in hand with double checking your seat when you get up. How slowly we have to pull out a dry tampon in order not to rip our vagina tissue out. After you go to the toilet and you have discharge in your knickers, pulling your knickers back up again is the most horrific feeling. It gets cold very quick whilst you pee. Cold, wet and slimy discharge knickers suck. Imagine that all day long. Might not be a girl exclusive thing, but I personally need a lot more foreplay to actually enjoy X. Most of the time I can't get off from strictly penetration no matter how badly we both want it. We get so turned on that our clit actually hurts sometimes. If there are any men fashion designers on here, women who like dresses want pockets in the dresses, and I don't mean near my boob, I mean on the actual skirt part. I love my one dress with pockets. I am convinced the designer of the modern skirt was a miserable old man who said, God already gave women a pocket, they're not getting any more. Some of us have to shave our toes and nipples. I pluck those and little happy trails. Some of us get extremely horny during the period, or little before that. Not the best timing, and not so many men dig it. Sometimes a pubic hair gets stuck under a panty liner. Ouch. When girls are particular about their hair products, it's not just being overly superficial or picky. When your hair is long, the right shampoo, conditioner, drying routine can be the difference between soft waves and a dry, ratty mess. The feeling of having fart bubble popping forwards and squeezing your thighs to pop it. Whoa, didn't expect this to blow up. Till that guys get this too. Now I have a mental image of dicks flapping up like the lid on a kettle. Period. It's. When we say don't stop during X, it means don't stop doing what you are doing. Don't go harder, don't go faster, just don't stop doing it exactly as you are right now. It seems that when this is said, the guy speeds up or starts ducking up the rhythm. We are almost always at least a little wet. It's not that you're hot, our bodies just need to be to function. Like a dog's nose. Some girls like squeezing their boobs. As a guy, I also like squeezing my boobs. Someone already mentioned dick size, but I'm gonna go ahead and add some more. Longer is not better. We're only about 4 inches deep, so wishing you had a huge 12 inches cock to shove inside of her won't be pleasurable. It'll be very painful. You'll be ramming her in the cervix, and that doesn't tickle. Girth is more desirable, and if you don't have a lot going for you in the pants, plenty can still be done with the tongue and fingers. For a lot of women, penetration isn't the climax. Also, if she's wet, and I mean like ducking Niagara Falls, it's basically dripping down her legs. You could probably get a baseball bat in there with that much lubrication. It's possible she won't feel you at first until you duck a little out of her. So that is it. It isn't always BC, you're just small. The liquid barrier is real. Sometimes if you fart, it doesn't escape through the fabric. Instead it rolls all the way from the back to the front with a noticeable little pop. It's never a good feeling. Edit. Apparently this happens to a lot of dudes too. Not gonna lie, I assumed the balls stop it escaping the front. Our favorite bra hasn't been washed in 2 weeks. Edit. It is winter, so maybe I should have said 6 weeks. Oops. The feeling of pulling a really long hair out of your butt crack. At first it's kinda gross, then this good little shiver feeling. It looks like our hair ends up in our guys' butts too. And you either love it or hate it, so I'm not sure whether to apologize or say you're welcome. You're welcome. Edit 2. My most upvoted comment is now about having hair in my ass. Thank you for that. We have so many hair related issues. Plucking dark random nipple hairs. Trying to line up when we shave our areas to when we hook up to avoid guys from seeing razor burn or ingrown hairs. Before getting out of the shower we have to pick out hair from our butt crack that fell out from washing our hair. Pubes growing and sticking out of our undies. Pubes getting stuck in pads or liners. Some women have larger labias and sometimes they get stuck in our underwear. It's very painful and extremely uncomfortable. And then we have to either walk funny to try to get them unstuck or walk very, very carefully to somewhere where we can just stick a hand down our pants to get things sorted. And don't get me started about getting stuck in lace underwear. Some women get blood clots in our periods and it feels like you're giving birth to a jellyfish. Half the time I'm readjusting my bra, I'm actually trying to scratch my nipple. Sometimes we have to take the extra long stride too, because period blood and discharge can make things sticky down there. At least in my experience, not a single girl I've ever interacted with has been turned on by an unsolicited dick pic. We need to pee right after X to reduce the risk of getting a UT. Also, if on birth control and pulling out isn't necessary, we need to go empty out the goo you just gifted us. Please don't try to throw your arm around me and fall asleep. I don't want to sleep in the X juice that will be leaking out of me momentarily. Let me go take care of that real quick while I pee. Is there anything on my butt is code for has my period leaked? Bro, is there anything on my butt? No, I don't see any blood. What are you talking about? Chris, I'm not stupid. I browse Reddit. If you have X without a condom, we need a good few minutes after to let everything drain out of us. I always tell my boyfriend be right back, gotta goes, because I love seeing the cringe. I try to come up with new ways to phrase this. So far my partner's favorite has been exorcising the semens. Gotta spice it up, you know? I think most girls appreciate emotional support in those situations more than advice. When I'm crying I don't want my partner to tell me what I should do. Being on your period is the worst. Try being super horny but not being able to wank because everything is just one big slimy mess down there. Every so often, something itches. Is it a yeast infection? Is it a bacterial infection? Is your pubic hair growing back in? Is it dryness? Is it irritation? Did something get stuck in your underwear? The answer is that 99% of the time everything is fine, but you're still gonna worry and squirm uncomfortably trying to get it to stop. And also yeast infections in general, much more common than one would think, and absolutely goddamn ruthless. My nipples can be like two clitorises on my chest. Rubbing them very gently, licking, being kind equals I get super wet and aroused. Usually when I masturbate I stimulate a nipple at the same time. I don't know why dudes don't try this more when I ask. Most go at my chest like they want to smoosh my boobs like dough or suck a nipple like they're angry and trying to lengthen it. What I think they don't get is there's so much versatility in the body. I like rough play too, but tender play is a whole other lovely world. Sometimes a hug will do a million times more good than trying to get me to explain why I'm upset. Largely because I'm probably overwhelmed with my feelings and need to process them before I can explain them. The fastest way to process and get them out, a hug to feel loved. Girth versus length. I feel like guys always base each other off their length. I've had 9 inches skinny dick, wasn't great. I've had a 5-inch length thick dick and it was a ride. Edit. Obviously not all women prefer the same thing. Some women want smaller dicks. Some women want monster dicks. I'm just saying guys have this weird dick measuring competition and half the time they get it wrong with only focusing on length. Men with somewhat veiny forearms and pushed up sleeves are a godsend. The true reason we go to the toilet together is that the waiting queue would usually so long that alone we will A, get really bored, and B, feel a little excluded from the conversation for some minutes when we come back to the group. So we go together and chat the whole time we are waiting. I'm super late to this party, but I'll lift my boobs up so I feel like I can breathe without the weight of them. Have no idea if anyone else does this, tbh. It's a great feeling. I don't care how terrible it looks. If you make me a card or gift instead of buying one, I will adore it forever. The secret of getting us to have sex more is to do equal housework and organizing so that we aren't so ducking tired all the time. For duck's sake, if I say I'm about to come, that does not mean change one single thing about what you're doing. Don't go faster or slower, or God forbid change the position. Just stay exactly as you are, please. We love it when you moan and make noises during sex. Don't be the silent type, let me know I'm pleasing you, goddammit. Guys think girls are really complex, but that's not always the case. I mean, sure, sometimes I have a lot going on in my head. But other times, when we're in the car and I'm silent and you think I'm angry about something, I'm just thinking I wish I'd ordered the tacos at dinner instead of the chicken. Or did I remember to switch the laundry over? Damn. We masturbate next to them while they're sleeping. Not sure if it's any secret though. Some guys don't understand how different men and girls look without makeup. Women's bathrooms can be just as disgusting as men's. If you have a sense of humor and can make us giggle uncontrollably, you're way more attractive than any muscular piece of man out there. Sometimes we don't really know what's wrong or why we're so upset, so stop asking what's wrong repeatedly and just hug and love us. You've been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to our juicy and like the video.